One of the things we're always trying to do is find ways to make the many things you have to keep up with and keep track of easier to do. Because, whether you have a large ministry staff with interns, ministry assistants, or you're kind of a lone ranger, for whatever reason, you're maybe the only person on the youth ministry staff, we get that life is busy. There's a lot of things happening. And so we want to help you. So one of the ways we've done this is through our dynamic groups feature. So if you go to groups and create a group, okay, be that on our app version or just like usual, you can also do these things on our desktop version as well. You're going to notice these little expandable menus here for setting dynamic groups. And so what you can do is you can set the group name, then you can use our filters to create dynamic groups. And so actually what can happen is you can set these filters and then click create group, and you don't even have to choose any kids at all. It'll automatically fulfill that group for you. And then what happens is every night it goes through and checks and makes sure and goes, okay, any kids that fit that filter, I'm going to make sure I put them into the group if they're not there already. And then if they're in there and they don't fit anymore, it moves them out. So for example, let's say for contact purposes, you want to create a visitors group. So you can always go and message your visitors really fast. And while we have other tools in our student view to do that really quickly and easily as well, this is just one option. So you want to create a contact group of visitors. So guess what? We're just going to put visitors. And what this says is it's going to check. And every single kid that's a visitor, it's going to put them in that group. You would go create group and they would be there. Then here's what would happen. Let's say one of your visitors, okay, so for example, I've got me in here as a student. Okay, let's say I join the church, you go in, you update the profile, make them a member. Well, guess what? That night it's going to go through, the program's going to run, and it's going to find them, and it's going to pull them out of the visitor group because now they're a member. So it checks everything, keeps it updated, and you can go. And then you could do it other ways. So you could say, I want all 10th grade boys, okay, because you have for Sunday school. Maybe you do that. Or maybe just all 10th graders because you do co-ed Sunday school. You could just do that and make a 10th grade group. Maybe you're like us, and for some of our larger schools, like Poteet, we have a lot of kids. And so we have, like, let's say a 9th grade boys Poteet group. And it would pull all the kids, boys that are 9th graders from Poteet High School, okay? So you can set those filters, hit create group, and it automatically does that for you, and then every night it automatically updates. Now, let me show you another cool feature about this. So you have these updates, it's running. Now what happens is, to make it even better, is that you have this promote students button, which if you've watched that video before, there's a link to it here. You can sit there and you can promote students. And so for example, you click promote students and you say yes, it's going to move every kid up a grade. All right. Then you can also update their school info to go, okay, now that I've updated these kids, I want to say, okay, that Poteet High School I mentioned, the middle school they come from is Kimbrough. And so I would say if they're in 8th grade and in Kimbrough, or, move them now up to basically Poteet High School, okay, because that's where that one cuts off. And it's going to update those schools for you as well. I'll go ahead and pull up that menu and so you can see if they're here, I can say the max grade for that school is, let me say Kimbrough. Max grade for Kimbrough is 8th grade. And they go from there to Poteet. So it's now going to go, if it says Kimbrough in 9th grade, it's going to change that school to Poteet. Okay, so promotion Sunday is coming. All right, you can promote your kids, you can update school info, and then guess what? That night, all those groups are going to get dynamically updated and you don't have to touch anything. And then either your leaders who are tied to those groups can automatically pull up their new kids, maybe do some pre-contact for you just to say, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you Sunday if they moved up with them, or if it's getting a new group saying, hey, I'm looking forward to meeting you. It's there. If you need to print rosters, they're good to go. And so we really think this is going to help save you time. As always, if there's other things we can add, if you need different filters, if you see something's not working, let us know. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We want to help. We want to serve. We want to make things easier for you, not so you can just be lazy and kick your feet up with it, so you're freed up to do other aspects of ministry and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom.